most girls, when they first starting at an agency, 18, 19, 20, they'd always be dating the young, hot guy with the six-pack. You typically date older, you're saying. What do you mean?
Yes. So you accept it back in, and then it's just going to fall back to place again.
You should be happy in a relationship. And society is telling you one thing. You should want a guy who's a nice guy. You should want a guy who is settling down and will never cheat and he checks all the boxes. But in reality, you don't control what you want.
I was settling for this guy who was mediocre, had the dad bod. Was a dad. He had a daughter, okay?
And so I hear girls say all the time, there's no real men left in this world. I hear girls say that there's just these boys. And that's what I think it is. But at the same time, all the girls are saying all these guys need to go to therapy. And I think it's kind of a paradox.
Cowgirl up or go sit in the truck. Okay? That's like my motto. Looks wasn't there first for me. But then we started hanging out more. And then we just developed a connection. If the guy can't ride, it's a turnoff.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans, and first of all, thanks to all our listeners. We have been getting a ton of engagement over the last couple weeks, so we have to thank you guys for that. Today, we have a special guest in the studio, Baylee Curran. Baylee, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, tell everybody name, what you do, and your star sign.
Okay, well, my name is Baylee Curran. I am an actress, international model, a horse trainer. I own Curran Performance Horses. I wear a lot of hats, but we'll get into that. Star sign. I'm a Gemini.
No. Security.
I know, right? Security. I know.
Do you possess the typical toxic traits of a Gemini?
I would have to say.
And you can be honest.
Yes. No, I'm going to be completely honest. I would have to say yes.
Okay. Explain.
Well, there's two sides of me, for sure, if not more, which is actually good because being an actress, I can portray different characters very well, going into different personalities or, portraying different sides of me.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And how has it helped you in your dating life or hurt you? Do you typically end up in toxic relationships?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, to be honest, again, I would say yes. I think so. I think as of late, I've matured a lot more. But when I was younger, I was in a lot of toxic relationships.
I've only had a drink thrown on me twice in my life. Both times were
by a Gemini
from your people. Yes.
Okay.
So,
okay.
To be fair, one of the times I did deserve it. It was completely my fault. The other time was the greatest moment of my life, and I would do it again.
What did you do to get that?
The drink thrown on?
Yeah.
So, okay. Back in my fuckboy day, I'm a recovering fuckboy. Now I'm very shy and romantic, of course.
So you've matured as well.
I have matured as well.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay.
But back in the day, I was a professional. Not like these amateur Gen Z fuckboys with their hair and bird scooters. I don't know how y'all fall for these guys.
What? Wait, what did you say? A bird's what?
The little TikTok hair. The little Gen Z fuckboys nowadays. They have a bed that touches two walls in their room, like a poor person. Like, do you not know what a nightstand is? How do you guys fall for these amateur fuckboys? I don't understand.
I still don't know that hairstyle.
You've never seen the TikTok hair? Little curly hair on top. It comes out in front.
No, but that's not cute.
A lot of girls like it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe it's the new Gen Z thing.
Maybe. Am I old? Am I too old for that?
I don't know. How old are you?
How old are you?
What do you think?
I think you're younger than me.
It's possible.
I'd say like 29.
Let's go. See, Geminis aren't all bad. I'm 32.
Oh, right there with you. Well, I'm like 30 something. That's what I say. But no, I'm right there with you.
Gotcha.
Okay. No, I'm trying to be very honest.
Do you typically date guys older, younger? What's the age range.
You know what? Okay. Have you seen like the most streaming reels right now? Mm-mm. Like on Instagram, there's a song. What is it for the reel? It's Oh, okay. So the girl will walk into like a big like mansion house, right? And then the song is what's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Or whatever. So, and she'll like put down her sunglasses and be like, wait, what's your name? Who's your daddy? Because when you hit your 30s, you can date younger and older. So that's what that whole trend of that like reel is about. Like when you hit your 30s, you can date the younger or older.
You're saying as a girl.
Yes. So she's like, she walks into the house and she's like, wait, what's your name? Who's your daddy?
Like I could date either one.
Like she's dated the younger one before, and then she walks in and she's like, oh, like I've been to this house before. Get it? Yeah. So it's kind of like a trending reel.
It's interesting because I worked in the modeling industry for a decade, and we called it hot guy phase. So most girls, when they first started at an agency, 18, 19, 20, they'd always be dating the young hot guy with the six pack. And these guys were just clones of each other. Like they all look the same, you know? Mm-hmm. But the 21, 22, 23-year-olds, the most beautiful girls in the agency would always date some like normal looking guy that maybe dad bod. Looks like if he put on a brown shirt and he dropped off your UPS package, like you wouldn't even be surprised. You'd be like, oh, makes sense. But all these guys would be extremely charismatic or successful or established or rich. And they would have all these other things that people from Wisconsin, when I grew up, would be so surprised. This girl, this super beautiful girl is dating this guy? And I'm like, yeah, you don't understand. This girl has dated 100 hot guys. She's bored. She wants the next level of confidence and someone who's intellectual and actually interesting.
It's funny because I've gotten that like my whole life.
You typically date older, you're saying. Or what do you mean?
Yes. I would say so, yes.
Okay.
Nowadays, I guess. Yes. Mm-hmm. But like what you just said, like, okay, why is she with that guy? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like, I don't even know myself. Like, why? Like, I don't know, like, not to mention like exes or anything, but like my last one, everyone's like, what? Like, what?
Like, what do you see in
like
him?
Total dad bod. And I thought, okay, maybe that's where I need to be right now. Okay, he's not gonna cheat on me. He's gonna be the one to type to like the type to like settle down. And seems like he has it all together, and like just be comfortable with him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. He makes you feel safe.
Exactly. And extremely, I was so comfortable with him. I got too comfortable with him. I think that was our mistake, actually, to let us to like break up. We got too comfortable. Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I see it a lot. It's interesting. I've heard the same story numerous times from my female friends. And it's always some very nebulous answer, like, we got too comfortable, we grew apart, I outgrew him, we lost the spark. But I think it's all the same thing. It's, you like this person, he checks all the boxes, everything on paper, you bring him home to mom, your mom loves him, this is a great guy. But there's just something missing from the actual, like, gut level attraction that you just don't have.
Exactly.
And the truth is that part is important, whether we like it or not.
Exactly. That's where I come into, like, I thought that I was settling because there was something kind of missing there. Mm-hmm. And like, I was kind of settling. Mm-hmm. And then when we came to like our last, I wouldn't say fight or our last chaotic whatever, I kind of ended it on that. And he tried to continue like, hey, like, let's at least be friends still. And I'm just like, nope. Like, I don't do that. Like, after, like, I have an ex, there's no friendship after that.
does it come from a place of you're angry at him, or does it come from a place of you don't want to let the past creep back up?
Neither.
Okay.
Actually, no. The past creep up, that's a good one. So yeah, like if feels come back in, and then you're like, oh, I'm feeling more comfortable, and
it's easy.
Yes.
It's inertia. It's
yes.
there.
So you accept it back in, and then it's just going to fall back to place again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I did not want to happen, because I came more level-headed and was like, I'm not going to settle down. I don't want to settle down with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, if he sees this, that's so sad. That's so sad.
You will.
But
it's not, because the reality is you should be happy in a relationship. And society is telling you one thing. You should want a guy who's a nice guy. You should want a guy who is settling down and will never cheat, and he checks all the boxes. But in reality, you don't control what you want. You don't control what you're emotionally attached to.
You know what he did? He was a very nice guy.
Yeah.
And I thought he checked all of the boxes. I thought. But, love goggles. Come on. I'm sure you've had love goggles on before, right? So yeah, when you have love goggles on, it's a real thing. Love goggles are a real thing. So when you get out of the relationship and then you kind of are back open to reality, you look back on it and you're like, wait, I really was like settling.
Mm-hmm.
I had love goggles on.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that's kind of how I made my decision when like he would try to text me and, yada, yada. I'm just like.
And so let me ask you this, because something at the beginning of the relationship attracted you to him. What was it? Because you got hurt, and then this was I don't want to get hurt again, so now I'm dating someone who's safe?
You're psychic.
I'm very good at reading people. I'm a Pisces, is what we do.
No, you're very intuitive, because I'm very intuitive, and I can tell.
I know.
I can tell. That's exactly what happens. That's so odd that you say that. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So like I said, like I was settling for this guy who was mediocre, had the dad bod, was a dad. He had a daughter. Okay. She was 15, and then I was with him for 3 years. So 15, 16 to 17, 18. And then I was like, not much of like a stepmom. I was more of like a best friend to her, which was super fun for me. But it's not, it just, I don't know. It wasn't, something was missing. Something was missing. So
the reality is there's two things you need in a relationship. You need attraction and you need connection. And so sometimes there's somebody who you have a great connection with on all of the things that are quote unquote important in life. Your values line up, your morals are the same. And that's great. And then there's other guys that have the attraction, and you're just like, it's that fiery love that you feel, right? But most of those guys don't have the qualities of the good morals and the good values and the character. And it's very tough to find somebody who has both of those qualities.
Exactly.
I think that's like the hardest thing to find.
Yeah, like my last one, I kind of forced myself to attraction. Oh my God, this is so bad. If he sees it, this is so bad.
I don't think it's that bad.
But no, there is like, okay, so have you ever heard of, you have like 3 loves in your lifetime? One is like the first, okay, you think you're in love, and you blah, blah, blah. Okay, the second one is a toxic, abusive, but you think it's still love. Like, and I was still kind of young, okay, when I'm talking about this guy. And I thought, okay, when he would get jealous over something, it means he loved me more. He's like, like validating his love for me. So I felt like, oh, he's jealous, so he really loves me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, which is so not healthy and not correct. Now,
I do like when people get a little bit jealous. If I'm dating a girl, she's not jealous at all. I'm a little like,
yes, no. If you, okay, yeah, no, okay. So, yeah. So if I'm still like dating somebody or something right now, there's got to be a little bit of jealousy. Otherwise, I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like you're not jealous, then like you care about me, like, but that's not like really healthy, right? You should be at a point to where you're okay within yourself and like secure within yourself to where you don't need that validation if they're jealous or not. Right?
Well, the reality is, so I worked in nightlife for probably about like 6 months. I hated it, but it was fun, but I hated it. And when I was doing the whole promoting thing, and every night you're at a table surrounded by 12 girls, and you start to figure out human nature. And there were so many times where at the beginning of night, I would say hi to a girl, not even hitting on her, just getting to know her, where are you from, blah, blah, blah. And she's doing the very LA girl, like, answer and then, go on her phone, kind of ignore me. I'm like, okay, fair game. And then I would be talking to another girl, and she's flirting with me, and she's giving me attention. And all of a sudden, that first girl comes back up to me and is all into me. And I'm like, 5 minutes ago, you could care less that I even existed. Now you want to talk to me? And you just read how people are. And I think it's just human. I don't even blame her. It's human nature.
It's a game, but it is natural. It is natural. It's a human natural instinct. Like to have that kind of game.
I agree. And that's why, like it or hate it, people hate fuckboys. But the reason fuckboys are fuckboys is because they used to be nice guys. And they got friend zoned and they got cheated on and they got all of these things pounded into the ground. And they are a product of their environment. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, because I went from super nice guy, got friend zoned all the time, to big fuckboy, gaslighting, sociopath, narcissist, and kind of graduated from there to like some guys do. Some guys stay in this phase forever.
Well, especially if you were like a club promoter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what you were definitely looked upon as.
Of course.
Like,
and I was definitely
like if you
correctly looked upon that.
If you ask me, okay, if somebody were to ask me out and he's a club promoter, like.
And I understand that. And you're probably smart for that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, if you're a club promoter and you just have access to 12 girls a night who are all partying.
Yeah.
And yes, not a lot of them aren't going to like you, but it doesn't matter because you have 12 new ones every night. It's just, it's literally just statistics at that point, and it's like, what guy is going to give up that lifestyle to settle down with one girl? I mean, he must have to really fucking like you, and you have to be very okay with what he does and trusting of what he does. And a lot of girls don't want to go through that.
That's hard, especially in LA too. LA is a whole different world.
It's a bubble.
Like me, I have the best of both worlds. I have the LA world, and then I have the world where I reside from, which is a very rural,
small town.
It's a town. It's like not even a city. It's actually called like Horstown USA.
No way.
Yeah, for real.
That's hilarious.
You can even look it up. It's called Horstown USA. You enter into Norco. That's where I reside. And literally signs with a fountain right when you come off the freeway, Horstown USA.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, the country stuff has been popping off. They do. There's like country nights. There's
biggest trends.
It is the biggest trend
within like the last 3 years. Like I was talking to you like beforehand. Yellowstone, the TV series, 1883. Oh gosh, I have a client. She takes lessons from me. What does she watch? Oh, Heartland. I have yet to watch that, but she's watching the whole series right now. And like there's so much going on right now. I actually have, I just auditioned for a role of, my character is a barrel racer, which you probably have no idea what that is, huh?
No.
Barrel racing.
Barrel racer?
Uh-huh.
Like Donkey Kong on the barrels? You roll down the hill or something?
Oh my gosh, no, not at all. So you're,
what is a barrel racer?
So you're on your horse.
Okay.
And you make a clover leaf pattern. Do you know what the NFR is?
No.
The National Finals Rodeo.
Okay.
So what I say is like I have best of both worlds. Okay. So that's one part of my world, right? Is the horse industry. I grew up doing rodeo queen pageants. You know, I can rope. I get down and dirty. I can get ranchy. Like I'm a good hand, like on the ranch. You probably don't even know.
I feel like when you said hand, your accent came out. I'm a good hand.
Oh my gosh!
It's like you're like I'm country when I'm on my ranch.
I'm a good hand. I get ranchy. I can get western rather than Bronx. You know what I mean? Like yeah, but no. So that's one part of my world, and then my other part of the world is being in LA and an actress and a model, but I'm trying to intertwine both of those worlds. So I just auditioned for this part the character plays a barrel racer. Okay. And so that's part of rodeo. You know what a rodeo is, right? Okay. At least you know what a rodeo is, right?
I'm somewhat on the map.
Okay. A little bit. Okay. So it's just, it's mostly females. Okay. The rest of the rodeo industry is like bronc riding, bull riding, steer wrestling, or you can call it bulldogging now, team roping, but barrel racing is pretty much all females. So it's just a cloverleaf pattern that you make with barrels, and you freaking just yahoo and do it as fast as you can, and that's what barrel racing is.
Interesting. And it's for a movie?
Yes. So
can you say the name, or is it like under wraps?
Calamity Jane.
Calamity Jane.
Which is a very famous real person.
And you're like Jane in the movie?
No, actually somebody else. But I do run. I make a run, which is barrel racing. I do a run. Yeah. I'll do the barrels. And I do have lines and everything. So it's a really good part. So I'm praying. Like today's Monday. And like I haven't talked to my manager today. I'm like, and he wrote me first and he's like, no updates yet. Like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I've been praying because I want to intertwine both of my worlds, So this would be technically one of my dream roles if I were to get this. So good prayers luck. Still. Yes.
When you find out?
We don't know. You never know. They have to review all of the submissions that they get. So we just did a self-tape, and then I submitted my stunt reel with just my equestrian, which is all my riding skills and stuff like that. And I said, yes, I can do my own stunts, and I could provide my own horses. So I think I have a good chance.
Interesting.
I think I do. But you want to stay humble, You don't want to be like, I got it in the bag. Like,
it's very rare in LA, humble people, I feel like.
I feel like that too. But my horses have kept me very rooted, like rooted and humbled. So
how much is horse riding if you're racing? Like, just you have a faster horse versus like the things you were doing is making your horse go faster. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much of it is it the jockey that's making the horse go faster, or is it just like, yeah, he just has a faster horse. Like, his horse is just a faster runner.
So now we're going on to the racetrack.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not rodeo. That's a whole different industry as well. But yes, I've done every discipline that there is in the equine industry. Okay. From Western English to, I've never been a jockey. I think I'm too tall for that.
You have to be tiny, right? You have to be like 5'1" and like 60 pounds.
The smaller the better, because the smaller, the faster your horse will go.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I think ideally it depends on the horse and the breeding. These horses go for a million and more.
For one horse?
Oh, Yeah. Actually,
That's crazy.
almost $1 billion.
$1 billion?
Yes.
For a horse?
Yes.
I'm in the wrong industry.
I went
Jesus.
to, yes. Oh, yeah. No, if you want to invest, there's some good potential.
Why don't you just take your horses every year? Have how many kids can a horse have a year? Like could a horse have like, how long is their like pregnancy period? Like 9 months? Is it like a human?
Oh, how many? Oh,
how many horse babies?
How many babies can a horse have?
Yes.
You said how many kids?
Horse kids. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to teach you a lesson really quick. Okay. So a gelding is a male horse.
Okay.
That has been castrated. So, like, they don't have any huevos.
Yeah.
Like, so they can't be stallions. Okay. And then a female horse is a mare. Okay. So when they're babies, they're called foals. Before you know if they're a filly or a colt. A filly is a girl baby horse, and then a colt is a male baby horse.
Okay.
So when you say how many kids can a horse have?
Yeah.
You could just say like how many fillies or colts can a horse have?
Okay, sure.
Just proper equestrian language,
okay.
like whatever.
Okay.
We have a whole different language, but so a year they could only have one a year. I think.
Why don't you take one horse every year, $1 million? Sell the horse kid.
I'm gonna start with Curran performance horses. I'm gonna start.
That's smart.
At the end of next month, I'm actually gonna get one of my. I have a horse. She's a reiner, which you won't know what that is either.
Nope.
It's when
I know what a stallion is.
It's when they. Cool ones, yeah. Well, a reiner is a certain discipline, so it's Western, but they spin, they slide, stop. Okay, now going back to like Yellowstone. Okay, the television series. So Taylor Sheridan is like the producer and like the creator of Yellowstone. Okay, so he also puts on in Vegas Run for $1 Million, and it's all reiners. Mm-hmm. So Run for $1 Million. If you win $1 million. Okay, nice. Where was I going with this?
Are you going to compete?
If I can get qualified.
I see.
It's already kind of too late this year because I didn't prepare and I don't have a horse. A lot of people will use other people's horses, like big time trainers. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you win that, you're pretty big in the equine industry. Yeah, especially reining. So, but where are we going with that?
Just how to get rich off horses and make $1 billion.
Okay. There's so many ways. This year I actually got an Andalusian, so big like a Spanish horse.
I see.
Which I'm not used to because I've shown and competed on the quarter horse circuit like my whole life. So being such into horses, you're on the ranch, everything. Mm-hmm. Do you typically go for guys who are that country western cowboy hat, manly men chopping axe in their backyard with the flannel shirt? Is that your type, or do you go for something else? Well, cowboys don't have to chop.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The manly, stereotypical,
like the
Southern,
the manly man, the cowboy,
the tongue like this,
like what? Like what?
Throat.
Do it again.
I can't.
Do you want to be an actress? Or actor?
Not.
I should say actor. No? Okay.
That shit is way harder than I thought.
Like they talk like this, like they get western like this and have kind of a little southern drawl.
Is that your type, or do you go for like city boys?
I would say right now that's my type, because as I'm getting older, like if I do want to get married and settle down, I would like to have a ranch and continue my life with my passion of horses. It's in my blood. So I think I'd be unhappy if I didn't have horses in my life. So yeah, get me a doctor who is a cowboy at the same time, who's at Run for the Million and wins it, and that will be my boyfriend, okay?
How much does money play a role in or success in terms of a guy you want to date?
That's a good question. Actually, I would say it plays a big role.
I think it should. I think people get knocked.
Does.
Girls get shamed for it, which I don't understand. Because, of course, you're going to want a guy who's successful.
I understand. But I mean, I am a woman, so.
Yeah.
I mean, men should totally understand. And I think men should provide.
I agree.
Do you agree? Do you?
So I grew up in a household where my dad is very old school. I remember one time I was biking around town, fell off my bike, bruised my knee. I'm 5 years old. I come home crying, "Daddy, my knee hurts, blah, blah, blah." And he looked at me and he goes, "Good thing you're tough." He just walks away.
Cowboy up.
And any time me and my brothers would complain about something, that was always the response, is "Good thing you're tough." But it taught me, hey, Zach, things are going to happen to you in your life. Hardships are going to happen. There's going to be problems that need to be solved, and they're going to be difficult. And because of that, you need to learn how to deal with your problems. You need to learn how to deal with difficult emotions and come through and, for lack of a better word, man up and fix the problem. And I see nowadays, I feel like the society has twisted where they're telling all guys, no, you should just cry about it and you need to go to therapy for it. And this is maybe a hot take. I don't think therapy is good for 99% of guys. I think instead of solving the problem, it's teaching guys to let's feel better about the problem that still exists in your life outside the therapist's office. And instead of solving the problem, let's put this Band-Aid over it and make you feel better about still having the problem that exists. And so I hear girls say all the time, there's no real men left in this world. I hear girls say that there's just these boys. And that's what I think it is. But at the same time, all the girls are saying all these guys need to go to therapy. And I think it's kind of a paradox, if that makes sense.
It does. And that's also your view because you're mainly in LA as well. So outside of LA, yeah, a lot of fathers or whoever their mentors are will say, like, even me, okay, I have a niece, she's 11 years old, and I'll be like, cowgirl up or go sit in the truck. Okay, that's like my motto.
It rhymes, so it's true.
Well, yeah. Cowgirl up or go sit in the truck. Like, for real. And she's even told me, she's like, Auntie, you're actually like my biggest idol. And now she's running in rodeo queen pageants right now. This is her first pageant. At first, when I asked her if she wanted to do it, she's like, no, I'm too scared. I don't want to do the speech, because you have to do a speech part, like a 2-minute speech up in front of a huge audience, right? And I'm just like, you know what? Her name is Brighton. So I'm like, you know what, Brighton? If you idolize me, pretend like you... Okay, so, and this is also coming from advice as an actress, okay? If I'm really nervous going into this character, I will like come out of my own body and go into that character, or say Jennifer Lawrence, okay? Like, I think she's a great actress. So I'm like, okay, Jennifer Lawrence. Okay, let's go walk up on stage and let's pretend I'm Jennifer Lawrence. And then I will execute that personality of Jennifer Lawrence or whoever I look up to. So I kind of give that advice to my niece. And then also, you know, throughout the years of holding many like Miss California titles, not just rodeo queen titles, but beauty queen titles, that was my main thing, is helping like young individuals grow up and be secure and have that confidence and go out there and just be confident. You know what I mean? So I kind of I coach as well. Like there's a pageant coming up, which Brighton is in right now, and I'm helping other girls right now in the pageant too. And I'll kind of take what I do for my acting abilities and like give it to them, like coach them how I would kind of coach myself in my own head, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah. The pageant thing is, well, I had a bad experience with a pageant girl, but that's neither here nor there.
Let's hear it. Come on.
So, okay, the last 19-year-old that I dated, and ever since then, intelligence is a much bigger thing that I look for in girls. I almost got arrested for animal cruelty, actually, because of her. But it wasn't my fault, though.
I'm a part of PETA. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Here's what happened. Here's what happened. So, we're going to Six Flags. And she was a pageant girl. And so very beautiful, everything like that. But I think God wasted all the DNA on her looks. There's not enough left for the brain. Or I don't know what happened. But not the smartest cookie in the crumble. So we're driving there. My BMW's in the shop. So
is she going to see this video too?
Potentially.
Okay. Good.
It is what it is.
We're in the same boat.
I'm a very honest person. I'm not going to say her name.
Okay.
So she's driving her dad's bright red Camaro. My car's in the shop. And her dad loves this car, which has turned out to be very bad for me later on in the story.
Oh, no.
And we're going to Six Flags. And she starts talking about, we're like, oh, where's the craziest place you've had sex? And like all this kind of stuff. And she says she's never had car sex before. So that's how I knew she was rich. And she's like, oh my God, let's do it at Six Flags in the parking lot. We'll find a secluded spot. And I'm like, no, car sex is for criminals, teenagers, and poor people. I will not be having car sex at Six Flags parking lot.
That's not even like a crazy, like.
But she was 19. She was new.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So we get to Six Flags. We have a great time. I'm an expert. I know the routes. I know the coasters. I know how to get the fast pass. So you're not waiting in line with the peasants for 3 hours where they pick their nose and
you're like
your dog.
You're like VIP coming in.
Yeah. I know my way around. Yeah. We have a great. I went to a stuffed animal because I always do.
I've never been to Six Flags.
Really? You should definitely go.
I want to really bad.
It's very fun.
I actually really want to.
Yeah. Come next time we go. We do group trips all the time.
When are you going next?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
Okay, let me know. Okay. I'm in.
So we get out. It's night. And we get to the car. And it's kind of strange because our car's there. And there's a lot of other cars in the parking lot. But for some reason, there's like a good 30-yard radius around our car where there's no other cars. They had all left, right? And on top of that, the street light above our car was out. So it was super dark. And she's like, Zach, the universe is manifesting us to have car sex. And she's like, Zach, if we don't have car sex and we don't give the universe what it wants, it's going to give us bad karma. I'm like, I don't want bad karma. Okay, we have to have car sex now. That's the only option. So we go in the front seat.
Of course you say yes. Come on. Duh, right?
So she's riding me in the front seat. I put the stuffed animal between my rib cage and the center console so I don't bruise my ribs like last time. And car sex, I don't like car sex. I don't like, it's not comfortable. There's beds for a reason. It's so much easier. Yeah. A nice comfy bed. Blah, blah.
Yes.
So as she's riding me, she has her hand on the stick shift thing and she's pushing off of it for leverage.
Stop. She puts it in neutral.
No.
And it takes off.
No.
Okay.
She's just riding me. All of a sudden it's and I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, oh shit. And she had somehow broke the shifter where it was just sliding, but it wouldn't catch anything. So it was stuck in park and we couldn't get it to shift to any other gear. She's like, my dad's going to kill me. Oh my God. So we tow the car. I Uber home and she tells her dad with her 17 IQ in her brain that we had my dog in the car and my dog must have broken the stick shift while we're in Six Flags. By the way, I don't even own a dog. This is a made-up fairy tale dog that she completely made up to tell her dad.
Oh, my God.
So the next time I see her dad's fucking pissed at me, but not for the car. He's rich. He can fix the car. Mm-hmm. He's like, You left a dog in a hot car for 8 hours while you go party at Six Flags, and I had to pretend like I'm some idiot animal abuser that has no idea how to fucking treat a dog.
I like that dad, though. I like that dad already.
I mean, I did too. He was a good guy.
I'm an animal person, so I'm like, okay.
And so ever since then, intelligence has been... I mean, to be fair, I was getting older at that point too. Intelligence had become more of a priority. But nowadays, intelligence is like I don't even remember when I talked to some of these girls back in the day when all I care was, oh, you're hot, cool. I don't know what we talked about when we went on a date for 3 hours. And it's like, I'm like, I really wish I could remember like what topics, because like these girls are not interested in talking about psychology, sociology, the way people think, the interesting things that are intellectually stimulating. And I like really try to think back, like, what did we talk about? It's like bizarre to me. So that's my
so you weren't like that into her then? You just found her attractive and just...
Yeah, I mean, she was fun. She was fun. And to be fair, back in my fuckboy villain era, that's why I went for. I went for girls who were fun and hot, and that's all I cared about.
That's it.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It came from a place of insecurity, but every like I said, every fuckboy has his villain origin story, so it is what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you typically go for personality wise in a guy?
I don't know because I don't really have like a certain actual type. Mm-hmm. It's like if we vibe, then we vibe. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I guess give me some options and I'll say A, B, C, or
okay,
D.
let me ask you.
Yeah.
This is a good question. If you had the choice, obviously you want someone with everything, but if you had the choice and your only options were a guy that was exciting and fun and adventurous, and you never know what you're getting, but you're not 100% sure you can trust him.
Ooh, okay.
Or a guy that is honorable, character, values, morals, but he's boring. He's just boring. You're sitting at dinner with him and you're just like, fuck, you're just going on your phone. You have nothing to do.
Okay.
Well, which guy would you choose?
Only out of those two?
If you had to. It's a thought experiment. Of course.
The first one.
Okay.
At least there's excitement. There's like, you've got some like tingly feelings. Mm-hmm. The second one, you're just like, it's like a chore. Mm-hmm. If you go out to dinner, it's a chore. Mm-hmm. Especially if you bring out your phone at a dinner table when you're like supposed to be enjoying each other. Mm-hmm. That's... Yeah, no.
So there's three things that I think are important in relationships: looks, personality, and character.
Looks first?
No, just in any order. I think they're probably
in any order.
Yeah.
Okay, put it in order for me. Tell me, what's first?
Like in terms of what I look for, or in terms of what you are?
What you just said, the three things.
So
looks,
personality, character. Mm-hmm. So
what's first?
In terms of what I look for?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all three important. I think they're all three so important. I feel like...
Don't be fake. Be honest.
I feel like you're supposed to say... I think looks is the most important into the very beginning of a relationship.
Well, that's what drives you to
them.
Here's
what it is. In the beginning, looks the most important, but slowly looks fade. Then personality is the next most important, but that also fades with time as you get, are you going to get married to this person? Are you going to have children with this person? And then at the end of the day, character is what reigns supreme for the test of time. But the reality is you're never going to get to that point with somebody who doesn't have looks and personality to some extent.
Gosh. Yeah, that's hard to actually put in order. I would say looks, character, and then personality. I mean, yeah, I see where you're coming from, where you combine them all together, because they all kind of have to go together. Mm-hmm. But if you break it down, of course, looks first, because that's what's gonna draw you to them first, right? Or personality can.
So
actually.
For guys, I think the girl has to be at least some bar of good looking for them to be attracted. But girls I've seen, so many stories. Yeah, I met him. I wasn't even attracted to him at all. And then I just met him and we just clicked and he just won me over and he's confident and he makes me laugh. And it just like, the personality just overrides the looks.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't see the same thing reverse very often.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to say even with, I'll bring up my last again, looks, and he knows this. Like, we make a joke all the time. He's like, so what'd you think of me, like, when we first met? And I would always just be like, I was like, which is, like, actually, like, kind of mean to say to him, right? But I was honest. I was like, But when he first saw me, he's like, oh, my God, I saw you, and it was love at first sight, blah, blah, blah. And he was way older than me, too.
How old was he? Like range?
42. So yeah, but then I got to hanging out with him more, and then we kind of connected a little bit more. And he would always tell me too, like, looks fade. When you said that just now, it like hit a spot. I was like, oh, that's what he would always say. 'Cause like, he knows I'm a model, I'm an actress, and he knows like I'm probably like a little bit better than him, but
on the look scale.
Yeah. And I'm still saying that humbly too. I'm just being real.
It is what it
I'm
is.
just being real. Okay. So yeah, I mean, looks wasn't there first for me, but then we started hanging out more, and then we just developed a connection, and we connected, and that was that. And I think that's more important than looks. I do. So, but that's also me nowadays being a little bit more mature than when I was younger. I'd be like, oh no, he has to be hot. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
and I think that's a natural thing of when you're young, it's more exciting. And you date enough hot guys, and it's like, it's another hot guy.
And then it gets boring.
I've touched the six-pack before. I know how it
Yeah,
feels.
yeah.
It is what it is.
It gets boring. So, and then comes along the dad bod. You know what I mean? And that's okay. That's okay as long as you connect, and then then you go from there. So, yeah.
All right, we are about out of time. Let's do some rapid fire questions.
Oh.
Quick questions, quick answers.
Okay.
Favorite food?
Favorite food? Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. Diablo shrimp.
Ooh. Seafood.
It's like Mexican seafood.
Interesting. Is it like, have you been to Toca Madera? Is it like that kind of stuff?
I don't think I've ever been there, but I think I know what you're talking about. And yes.
Yeah, that's good.
So, yes.
Favorite candy?
I don't eat much candy anymore. I used to when I was younger. I'm more of a foodie than like a sweetie.
Yeah.
But favorite candy, gosh. Okay, that's a hard one. Maybe like a Heath bar.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a very esoteric answer. I don't think I've had anybody answer that so far.
Really?
You're the first. Very unique.
Yeah.
Favorite first date spot or activity?
That's a hard one too. I actually don't date a lot. But I would say, so, I don't know. Something, I don't know. Give me options.
Dinner, hiking, horseback riding,
Probably not.
ice skating.
Probably not hiking because I'll be so out of breath, and then embarrassed, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, no, this isn't going. Okay, so actually, horseback riding, but if the guy can't ride, like, it's a turnoff to me.
And probably most guys can't.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
It looks
I
like,
know.
oh man, this guy's pathetic. Even if he is a great guy, everything.
Exactly.
He just doesn't know this weird skill of, not weird, but uncommon skill of horseback.
Yeah, it's not that common. It's getting more common nowadays, horseback riding. But yeah, so if I take a guy horseback riding and like okay, so the main thing ever is heels down, toes up. Okay, so you have to have your heels down. And like most guys, if they get on and like then they'll have like high waters because they're not prepared to ride and have like stacked jeans. And it's just like, I'm like, it's kind of a turn off. So yeah.
So maybe not horseback riding.
Yeah, maybe not.
Gotcha.
Maybe, I guess maybe just like a nice dinner would be the best. Maybe a little bit intimate, like especially on the first date, so that you can actually conversate and get to know one of each other. And then if I don't find interest in the person, then it's a waste of a time.
Yeah. I've always hated like movie dates or something. It just
oh gosh, oh my gosh, that's the most awkward though. That's the most awkward.
You sit there next to each other, you don't know each other, and you get out, and it's just like,
and then
how'd you like it?
So
I loved it. Oh,
so like yeah, in the middle of the movie, are gonna be like, whoa, that was so cool.
Yeah,
like, did you see what just happened? Like what do you do in the movie theater? Like, yeah, that's an awkward date for me, I think.
I agree. All right, where would you like people to? Where can people find you online? What would you like to give a shout out to? Instagram, TikTok, anything like that?
You know what? Instagram is probably my biggest networking platform. Yes. Yeah, Instagram. So at Baylee Curran, it's just how you spell my name, at Baylee Curran. I'm the only one. I'm verified. So I have a lot of fakes. Okay, there's tons of fakes. So if you try to go follow somebody without the blue check, it's not me. Okay, I'm the one with the blue check. So at Baylee Curran, and the way you spell Baylee is Baylee, and then Curran, Curran.
Awesome. Well, this has been fun. We'll have to do round 2 sometime.
I know. Yeah, that'll be fun.
All right.
I feel like we can talk like a lot more. But yeah.
For sure. All right. Take care, everybody.